The most important thing you need to focus on when you cut calories, the most important thing is to find a way to not lose muscle or lose as little as possible. That's the most important thing that you could do when you're cutting calories, aside from making sure you get adequate nutrients and the basics. Now, why? Because your body's going to want to pare muscle down. And when it does, it makes, first off, your weight loss become just weight and not body fat. And number two, it makes future weight loss more difficult. And number three, it makes sustaining weight loss very challenging, makes it very challenging. So anytime you're cutting your calories, your goal should be, how can I maintain my muscle as much as possible? Well, the best way to do that is to do the thing that sends the loudest, most effective muscle building signal to your body, which is traditional strength training. So if you cut your calories really low and you do really good strength training, you're going to lose less muscle for sure than if you cut calories and do nothing, or if you cut calories and then do forms of exercise that don't send a muscle building signal, that in fact oftentimes send a signal that says pare muscle down. And the data on this is very clear, very, very clear. Dieting or dieting plus cardio results in significant muscle loss. So you lose 10 pounds, 3 to 5 of that is coming from muscle. That doesn't sound so like a great strategy. Speaking of which, Adam, I have to address this. I can't believe I have to keep talking about this. It's so annoying. This has to be the most annoying, frustrating thing that I hear communicated in the fitness space, okay? Because it causes so much damage. I hate this. Fitness influencers, there was one in particular that did a post, and we don't need to call anybody out, so that's to my editors. Don't post who it is unless they say something, in which case we'll call them out. But I hate it when they come on there and they say things like, trying to build muscle to speed up your metabolism is a waste of time. And then they use this math right here. A pound of muscle burns maybe 12 extra calories a day. What they're doing is they're oversimplifying.
Way oversimplifying.
They're oversimplifying the second most complex thing we've identified in the universe, which is mammalian metabolism, okay? They've oversimplified it to say, this much, 1 pound of muscle burns this many calories, that's it, end of story. There's nothing else that plays a role in metabolism. That's just how it is. So gaining muscle, my God, if you gain 10 pounds of muscle, which is really hard, it's only 120 calories, who cares? It doesn't work that way. And it confuses a lot of people. The average person is going to watch that and go, oh, okay, well then I guess it's a waste of time.
Right.
I'm just going to try and eat as little as possible, because why try to positively affect my metabolism?
I've been voicing this for a while, man. I get so fired up about
what's the
that.
desired outcome?
Well, I remember the very first time I talked about it on the show, I got really pissed because I used to use the original research that came out that they had estimated, which, by the way, that just shows you how much this has changed too. Like, the original research estimated somewhere between 40 and 60 calories a day more that muscle would. And I used to love that number, not because I believed that it to be so exact or true, but that it gave me a number that I could give my clients like an analogy, or say, imagine if we can just add 5 pounds of muscle to your body, that's like a Big Mac a day that your metabolism naturally is going to burn just by it. And it would put in perspective how powerful building the metabolism is and building muscle is. And so it would help me get buy-in from my client on why we'd want to focus this. So that was early research. In early days of Mind Pumps, this is 7-8 years ago when I would talk about that. I remember first, this was some of the original stuff where I'd get messages and, your fitness dork that was on the latest research on what that was saying that would be arguing with me.
No, it's 10 calories.
Oh, that's
5 calories.
That's a way over. That's false. That's not true anymore. The more recent studies show that it's more like 17 calories or whatever it is. And meanwhile, I have all these case studies of clients where all we've added is 5 pounds of muscle, yet they're eating 500, 800 more calories a day, virtually doing the same stuff.
By the way, that's common. You're not talking about like an extreme example.
No.
That was all the time.
Everybody that I've ever got to eat or to build 5 or 10 pounds of muscle in their body radically changed what they could consume. Now, what we also miss in that conversation, this is why I hate deducing everything down to a 6-month scientific study about one part of the body, because none of the body works that way. There's so many other factors, not just physiologically, but even psychologically and behaviorally. So what happens to a client that okay, first of all, we know how difficult it is to build 5 pounds of muscle. It takes discipline around your diet. It takes consistency around hitting protein. It takes consistency around lifting weights.
And
it takes consistency around rest. So a lot goes in to somebody who actually added 5 pounds of muscle to their body frame. What else do you think happens behaviorally and psychologically to that person who did that?
Absolutely.
Their habits change. Their energy levels are more. They probably even move like their which the term I'm looking for when they're not intentionally. They're neat. Their neat goes up. There's so many things that are happening that you don't even realize. When they go and they lift weights now, because they've built muscle, they feel stronger. So their intensity naturally goes up and all that. There's so many things that get incrementally turned up or changed that collectively make an impact on the metabolism and how many calories your body burns throughout the day. So to reduce it down to a stupid, your 1 pound of muscle versus 1 pound of fat, what is the difference of calories it burns, is such a terrible message to present to so many people out there that are struggling with weight loss, because one of the best and most powerful things that you can do to aid your fat loss is to actually build muscle. It will make that not only easier for it to happen for you, but also sustainable. And anybody else that says otherwise, fuck you.
It's a fact. All the protective benefits you get from muscle and all these new studies and everything that came out, and like there's just so much more it does for your immune system, for all the other systems. Again, to your point,
to work better.
It's not just a 1-to-1 here. We're working with this is a systemic.
How about hormones?
We also know this. We also know this, that the same lean body mass, not changing your lean body mass, there seems to be a range of calories that a person can burn, all things being equal. So activity controlled, everything controlled, same lean body mass, but some differences in diet or stress or whatever, the body will burn more or less calories. Okay, your body can become more wasteful or less wasteful with how it produces and makes energy. That's a fact. By the way, if it was as easy as saying a pound of muscle burns 12 calories and that's that, then we would be able to take 2 people with the exact same lean body mass and we'd be able to calculate that they burn exactly the same calories so long as they move the same. It doesn't work that way. Or I'd be able to change someone's hormones, change nothing else. Why all of a sudden they're leaner? Why are you getting leaner? Because I changed your hormones. Building muscle doesn't just burn more calories because you have more muscle. It also has androgen receptor densities, improves insulin sensitivity. It's a storage vessel for glycogen. It produces chemicals that we're just learning about now that are anti-inflammatory, pro-fat loss, that improve cognitive function. And not only that, but the metabolism is so complex, we still have yet to fully understand it.
It's so arrogant of us to do that.
It's so dumb to look at a study that says that. And basically what you're doing, this is what makes me so mad, right? It makes me so mad because it's gaslighting people. Medical community, or should I say people who represent it, maybe in media, can often do this. Where all these people are experiencing things like, my kid, when they eat, red dye number whatever, they act crazy. And all these moms are like, my kid does too. And they're like, no, you're full of, it doesn't work. It's in your head.
Says it doesn't.
It's all in your head. Your kid probably lost sleep, your kid, whatever, right? And then years later, study comes out, oh shit, some kids are sensitive to red dye number, whatever. I can't remember the number, but there's actual red dye that some kids are sensitive to. Food intolerances, right? Leaky gut syndrome or whatever. It's so annoying because we get gaslit. Coaches and trainers who hear that stupid message from fitness influencers, some of these with 1 million followers, annoys the shit out of me, feel like they're being gaslit. Like, wait a minute, I've trained a lot of people. I've seen my clients go from eating 1,200 calories to eating 2,200 calories, and she gained like 5 pounds of muscle. I'm not packing 40 pounds of muscle on her, and she's leaner, and her activity level doesn't add up to the amount of calories that she's burning now because, in fact, she was doing so much cardio before I switched her to strength training. So how does that make any sense? And then what are they being told? Oh, you must not be calculating properly. Or not counting. Like, no, you're an idiot. It's like women will complain about this when they go to the doctor. They'll go to the doctor and they complain about these symptoms, and the doctor will be like, it's all in your head. No, you're fine. It's all in your head. You leave and you're questioning your reality. Like, it's so terrible. But the part that makes me most pissed off about this is how much damage are these idiots with all these followers doing when they maybe hear a message, because we're starting to popularize the message, right? That building muscle is a great way to burn body fat, right? Maybe they heard that message somewhere and they're like, oh, I heard building muscle is a good idea. I know I've tried to lose weight before and it was really hard. And, I did all the cardio and I cut my calories like crazy. It was impossible to sustain and I gained it back. Now I'm hearing building muscle. Maybe I should start strength training to lose fat. And then someone sends them this stupid clip of this moron being like, 1 pound of muscle only burns 12 cal. Oh yeah, you know what? I guess you're right. I'm not going to try strength training. I'm going to go back to my Orange Theory classes, or I'm going to go back to what I did before. Causing so much freaking damage, it's not even funny. Again, trainers and coaches have experienced this time and time again. You can reverse diet people. You can speed up metabolisms. You could slow metabolisms down. Some of it has to do with the muscle building process. Some of it is a bit mysterious, but we do know for a fact through experience that if you do the things necessary to build muscle and you start to build muscle and get stronger, you don't need to build a ton of it. But if you move in that direction, even if you don't build muscle, you see a positive influence in terms of a faster metabolism. And it's predictable. It's reliable and predictable.